Todd Chrisley drops truth. Chrisley Knows Best Season 10 was meant to be his last. Hello, everyone. Welcome back for another video. I hope everyone's having a great day. Before watching the video, please subscribe and like it. Chrisley Knows Best was a reality TV mainstay for many years. Todd Chrisley and his family's outrageous personality, southern charm, and never-ending drama drew viewers in. However, the show abruptly ended after 9 triumphant seasons when Todd and his spouse, Julie, were found guilty of tax evasion, bank fraud, and conspiracy to defraud the United States. The show was permanently shut down when their legal troubles rocked reality TV. Todd was ready to walk away, yet, in Todd's telling, the ending wasn't entirely unexpected. He claims he had already started planning his exit from reality television long before the federal investigation forced the network's hand. Chrisley Knows Best was a wonderful show and still is, he told People. I mean, you can tell how many times it's airing in reruns and whatever. I'm grateful for what the show brought us. But to whom much is given, much is required. Todd explained that by the time season 10 was approaching, he no longer felt the same excitement. Production had begun to wear him down, particularly because the family was being pushed to present themselves in ways that didn't always reflect reality. I started winding down, he admitted, noting that the contract he was working on would be his last. A family divided over the show. His family, however, didn't share the same feelings. According to Todd, they were fighting with him to keep the show going. But he pushed back, telling them, "No, I'm not. No, I'm not. You guys have been doing it as long as I have. Keep going if that's what you want to do." In the end, it wasn't a family decision, or even Todd's choice, that ended the show. The FBI's investigation sealed its fate. Reflecting on it, Todd said, and then God kind of said, "Okay, I'll fix that for you. None of you can do it." What is this? Back on screen after prison. Still, the Chrisleys haven't faded from the spotlight. Todd has returned to television with Lifetime's The Chrisleys, back to reality. In a dramatic twist fitting for reality TV, cameras started rolling the moment he walked out of prison. The new series promises to continue the family's saga, showing fans what life looks like after scandal and prison time. The Chrisleys. Back to Reality airs Tuesdays at 8/7 on Lifetime. Todd Chrisley has never been one to shy away from speaking his truth, and this time the patriarch of the famous reality television family is setting the record straight about the future of Chrisley Knows Best and the personal decision he had already made long before scandal headlines took center stage. In his latest remarks, Todd revealed that the 10th season of the long-running reality series was always going to be his final act, and that he had planned to close the door on the show regardless of the legal battles that later overshadowed the family. This admission has sent waves through fans of the series, who followed the Chrisleys for years as the glamorous yet often chaotic Southern family gave audiences a mix of laughter, heartache, faith, and plenty of bold opinions that made them household names. The revelation comes with a heavy sense of closure for a show that once defined a specific era of reality television. Chrisley Knows Best was not just a program about a wealthy Southern family, it was a production that leaned heavily on Todd's unique personality. His wit, his quick comebacks, and his constant juggling between being a doting father and an obsessive perfectionist became the backbone of the series. Now, with Todd's statement that season 10 was going to be the final season, fans are left looking back on the journey of how this family went from relative obscurity to the front lines of television fame. Todd explained that he had started to feel the strain of constantly living in front of cameras. He described how his family's private moments had become blurred with production schedules and how genuine interactions often ended up shaped by the looming presence of a reality TV crew. While the Chrisleys embraced fame for nearly a decade, the patriarch admitted that he had grown weary of sacrificing authentic family time for entertainment. He said he had wanted to protect his children and grandchildren from the pressures of being watched and judged by millions each week. For Todd, this was not about giving up success, but about reclaiming control of his family's story. The decision to step away after season 10 had been made privately, but Todd suggested that he had shared it with his closest family members even before the world knew. He revealed that Julie, his wife, had supported the choice, and that Savannah Chase Grayson and even Nanny Faye had their own mixed feelings, but ultimately respected that the time had come to move forward. What the family did not know was how dramatically life would change soon after filming those last episodes. Season 10 became the symbolic final chapter of the Chrisleys on network television. When it aired, the season was shadowed by the looming legal troubles surrounding Todd and Julie. For many fans, the episodes carried a bittersweet tone because audiences were already aware that the show would be ending. What few knew, however, was that Todd had been prepared for the end long before the courtroom drama began. This new admission paints the series finale not as a forced conclusion, but as part of a bigger plan for Todd's life and career. The Chrisley brand had grown far beyond just the television show. Spin-offs like Growing Up Chrisley and the family's podcast ventures showed that their reach was wide and their appeal continued. Todd admitted he wanted to spend more time developing new projects behind the scenes instead of being in front of the camera. He had already been in talks about production work, business ventures, and opportunities that would allow him to use his sharp eye for storytelling without the constant spotlight on his personal life. He wanted to guide others through the world of entertainment without always being the star himself. For years, Chrisley Knows Best was celebrated for its comedy-driven style that sometimes played more like a scripted sitcom than a reality show. Todd's dramatic personality, along with the hilarious commentary from his mother, Faye, created a family dynamic that felt fresh and entertaining. Yet, as the seasons went on, Todd began to notice that life at home was shifting. Children were growing up. Savannah and Chase were stepping into their own adult responsibilities and careers. Grayson was maturing quickly, and Nanny Faye was becoming a beloved icon in her own right. Todd recognized that the show, which once revolved around raising a family, had reached a point where the narrative would have to change dramatically. Rather than allow the show to fade awkwardly, he decided season 10 would be the perfect ending. Fans of the series may find this revelation bittersweet. For many viewers, Chrisley Knows Best was more than just entertainment. It was a weekly ritual where people tuned in to laugh, cry, and sometimes shake their heads at the family's over-the-top lifestyle. The series showcased Southern culture in a way that was equal parts glamorous and comedic, while also diving into the challenges of raising children, marriage, faith, and family loyalty. Todd's role as the outspoken head of the family became a cultural talking point, and he was often compared to other reality television fathers, though none carried the same sharp tongue and comedic timing. To know that Todd was ready to walk away adds a layer of reflection for those who watched the family's journey from the beginning. Todd's comments also touch on the emotional toll that comes with being under the microscope for so long. He acknowledged that the pressure to constantly be on guard and to maintain a certain image was exhausting. The Chrisleys had their fair share of critics, and the reality of online commentary became overwhelming at times. Todd admitted that while he never regretted opening his family's life to the cameras, he realized it came with costs that were more significant than the fame and money that came with the territory. He wanted to put his family first and to preserve what privacy they had left. In many ways, the Chrisley story mirrors that of other reality stars who found themselves caught between personal growth and professional obligations. However, Todd's candid truth about choosing to make season 10 his last season marks a clear distinction. He was not forced out of television, but had already decided his time was up. This takes the narrative away from speculation and places it firmly in his own hands. It reaffirms Todd's belief in controlling his destiny and shaping his family's legacy, rather than allowing outside forces to dictate the terms. The end of Chrisley Knows Best after 10 seasons does not erase the impact the show had on pop culture. Over the years, Todd and his family became memes, viral sensations, and constant tabloid subjects. They represented a new kind of celebrity family, one that leaned on humor and Southern charm instead of drama-filled feuds. Even as controversies swirled, the Chrisleys kept their fan base engaged and loyal. With Todd's confirmation that Season 10 was intended to be the last season, it creates a new perspective on how the show will be remembered. It was not a program that ran its course due to scandal, but one that had reached its natural conclusion because the family patriarch was ready to move on. Todd's relationship with his children has also been a major point of discussion among fans. Throughout the show, audiences watched his parents with both strictness and love, often clashing with his kids, but always returning to the message of family first. In reflecting on Season 10, Todd emphasized that he wanted his kids to have the freedom to tell their own stories away from the family franchise. He wanted Savannah, Chase, and Grayson to explore their lives without being tethered to the family brand. He acknowledged that their futures belonged to them, not to a network schedule. Even with the series ending, Todd has continued to inspire conversation. His honesty about choosing to close this chapter shows a side of him that many may not have expected. He is known for being flashy, witty, and often confrontational, but in this moment he revealed vulnerability and the wisdom that comes with age and experience. He admitted that part of him feared how fans would react, but ultimately he felt peace knowing he had made the right choice for himself and his family. The Chrisley family legacy now rests not just in reruns or memories, but in how they choose to move forward. With Todd's leadership, the family can now focus on new projects, ventures, and personal goals. Savannah has already stepped into her own spotlight with her podcasts and public appearances, while Chase continues to explore his own path in entertainment. Nanny Faye remains a fan favorite and is likely to be seen in future projects that highlight her humor and resilience. For Todd, the lesson is clear. Fame is fleeting, but family remains. By admitting that Chrisley knows best, Season 10 was always meant to be the final act, he takes control of the narrative once more. He shows that while circumstances may have shifted and controversies may have complicated things, his original plan was to end the show on his own terms. That truth now provides fans with a sense of closure and allows the Chrisleys to be remembered, not just for how things ended, but for the laughter, love, and chaos they brought into homes for nearly a decade. In the end, Todd Chrisley's truth is not just about the conclusion of a reality show. It is about understanding when to step away, when to prioritize what matters most, and when to take ownership of one's story. Season 10 was the last chapter by design, and while the cameras may have stopped rolling, the legacy of the Chrisleys will continue in the hearts of those who laughed along with them, cried with them, and learned through their highs and lows. Todd has once again proven that no matter the obstacles, he is always willing to speak his truth, and for fans, that honesty is what will keep his story alive long after the television lights have dimmed. Be sure to catch up on everything happening with Todd Chrisley now. Come back here often for all Todd Chrisley spoilers, news, and updates. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, America Trends 24, and stay with us.